Have you ever wondered what all the different L series in the Kubota tractor lineup are? Well, today we're going to go over the whole L series lineup. Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota Lynchburg, and today I wanted to go over the L series lineup with you. So basically we're going to go over the whole line that starts with L, not the LXs, but the Ls. So I'm going to show you kind of from the smallest to the biggest of the L series and what the differences are between them. So we're going to start with the smallest L series Kubota, which is the L2502. This is actually the most popular tractor we sell, but it is a 25 horsepower tractor. So you'll find some similarities as we go down the row. The first two digits are always your engine horsepower, so that's your power you're getting out of it. And then on your loader arms, if you see on the side of the frame here, it says LA526. That's going to be your lift capacity in kilograms. So this one will have 526 kilograms, or about 1,100 pounds of lift capacity. So the L2502 is our smallest, 25 horsepower, no emissions. This is the only L series that does not have emissions, which is why it's so popular. It's cheaper, as well as there's less maintenance and upkeep to it. We're going to have a quick attach bucket on all these tractors. The nice thing about the standard L series, and I'm going to call it standard for the L2502 all up to the L4802, is that it's a very price-effective tractor. It's kind of a bare bones. It has some of those features that you need to make it a comfortable tractor without all these fancy features that we'll see up at the other end of this series. So on the operator station on these standard Ls, and it's going to be the exact same for the next three tractors, you have two transmission options. This one is a gear drive, but the L2502 can also come in a hydrostat transmission. Hydrostat is going to be better for loader work, for novices on tractors, for easy operator use for the younger or older people. And you have your gear drive, normal stick shift style transmission where you're shifting and clutching between every single gear, 1, 2, 3, 4, and everything like that. So you have to be good with the clutch. You got to know what you're doing. It's a little cheaper for a gear drive, but it's also a little bit more not user-friendly, I'll word it that way, if you've never ridden a tractor before. Now, gear drive does give you a little bit more horsepower on the rear end, so it's a little bit better for pulling implements like a bush hog or a tiller. So that'll be the same for these next four tractors we talk about. You can get them in either a gear drive or a hydrostatic transmission. Now, this L2502 has some nice features, like it does have an adjustable suspension seat. It's got LED headlights. It's a really heavy-duty tractor as far as the transmission housing and the frame and everything. You have a very simple three-point hitch on the back of these standard L series. So again, very heavy-duty, but very simple. You've got turnbuckle-style stabilizers, your normal top link, a drawbar on the bottom, and your PTO shaft for running your ear implements. So that is the L2502 in a nutshell. If you want more details about a specific one of these, we have orientation videos on all these other models, so you can go watch one of those for more in-depth specifications. I don't think that's a word. All right, so next is an L3302, exact same tractor. Now you can see I picked some with some different tire options. You're gonna have different tire options, all these. This one has industrial tires. It's the exact same loader, which means it's the same lift capacity. It's gonna have the same bucket, the same tire options, same frame, same chassis, same everything other than the engine underneath the hood and the fact that it has emissions. So now we have a 33 horsepower tractor with the DPF, not DEF, which is nice. We don't have any issues with the DPF stuff on any of these tractors, so we're good there. So that is our L3302, exact same features. And guess what? On the L3902, it's the exact same thing. So we have the same tractor, same loader, another tire variation. So we have our agricultural, our industrial, and our R14 hybrid tires. So you do get to pick and choose tires on these tractors, of course. But you're going to have a 39 horsepower tractor underneath the hood. You're going to ask, maybe why should I get a 39 versus a 25 or a 33? Well, number one rule to buying a tractor is get bigger than you think you're going to need because you have more power. Usually we're going to see the difference is pushing or pulling up a slope or an incline, or if you have a heavy implement on the rear where you need a little bit more oomph to get going on it, that's what you're going to need. Now, as far as loader work, identical tractors. As far as kind of handling on flat ground, they're pretty similar. So you can get to pick and choose between your price point range. Now everybody always asks, what's your prices on them? August of 2024 is where we're at now. That L2502 is going to be somewhere in 24 to 26,000. This one's a couple $1,000s more, so in the upper 20s, and this one's going to be in the low 30s with tractor and loader and fluid-filled tires. So every time you jump a series, you jump a couple $1,000s. Now our next tractor is still what we'll call a standard L series tractor, which means it's still kind of a bare bones, but has some of the needed features. It's the new L4802. So this is a 48 horsepower engine, so much nicer engine, much more heavier engine, everything like that than these. And you can see physically it's a larger tractor. So you get a bigger bucket, you get more lift capacity, 765 kilograms of lift capacity. You get bigger tires. Now you still have your tire options, the industrials and the agriculturals and everything. And you get a little bit nicer seat. It's slightly nicer seat. The operator's platform is a little bit nicer because it has more of an open hump to it versus these other ones. You have this big transmission housing kind of in your way. So it's a little easier to get in and out, a little easier to have foot space on it, and it stands a little taller off the ground. So normally people will go to the L4802 when they need something with a little bit more lift capacity, or maybe to pull a 6 or 7 foot bush hogger tiller, something they just need a little bit more power and size and weight of a machine. I think this weighs about 800, 900 more pounds than these smaller standard Ls. But still, we're not talking any fancy features yet, other than on the 3-point hitch, there's an upgrade to this as well, which this one does come standard now with your telescoping stabilizers. Pro tip, if you buy one of these smaller tractors, the 25, 33, or 39, it's a kit for about 220 bucks to upgrade to these, worth every penny. I would recommend getting that for your tractor. So 4802, 48 horsepower, has the bigger lift capacity. Now we're gonna get into what we call the Grand L series. So if you see a tractor model that ends in a 60 is the current ones, but the older ones it was a 10 or a 20 or a 30 or a 40 or 50 or 60. So now it's a 60, so an L3560. You're gonna get what's called a Grand L. And right off the bat, you can tell that there's fancier features. So you have a little bit more lift capacity than your standard Ls, same size bucket, but a little bit nicer, bigger bucket. You're gonna have a load level indicator on it. You're gonna have a little couple other features on your loader. Your hood honestly looks a little bit nicer. It's designed a little bit nicer. Probably the nicest thing about the Grand L is going to be your operator station. As far as comfort goes, these only come in a hydrostat, although there is one Grand L model that you can get in the glide shift transmission, which I absolutely love, but they're not very popular, but a hydrostat transmission. Now what's special about this transmission, I'll go into it real quick, is it's a Hydrostat Plus transmission, which means it has every fancy feature. Auto throttle advance, stall guard, cruise control, you have customization to it. It's a IntelliPanel, which means it gives you a ton of feedback and a ton of customization. And that transmission is the best hydrostat transmission you can get. The treadle pedal is a little different, but it's really about the customization and this feel on a hydrostat transmission. Now this operator station, wide open floor plan, you have these guards in front of your feet, so whether it's raining, your feet aren't going to get soaked if you're driving forward, or snow coming up on them, or a cold breeze coming in, keeps the mud off of you a little bit. But you have all this foot room, even for somebody who's 6 foot. I'm not quite 6 foot though. And you have nice features like tilt steering column, which is one of my favorites. You've got this high back, comfortable suspension seat with armrests. Your loader controls now, instead of being in front of you where you have to reach forward, they're back here. So I'm putting my armrest down and I can sit here and play with my loader all day. It's got a throttle button on it. It's got a lot of these nice fancy features. So it's actually a 6-speed transmission because there's a high and low range on your column that really makes this a deluxe tractor. So if you're looking for something that when you get on it, you're gonna be extremely happy and extremely comfortable with it, and you still want very good capability, but you're willing to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more, go with a Grand L. If I had to pick between, let's say, a 3560 or a 4060 and a 4802, I would take a Grand L all day because of these nice features to it. Now, I don't have every single Grand L out here because there's a ton of them. There's 35 horsepowers, 3560s, 4060s, 4760s, 5460s, and 6060s. So we have 5 Grand L models, anywhere from a 35 horsepower to a 60 horsepower. And you can choose all of these in a cab or an open station model. You have a ton of variations in this Grand L series. So when you're picking your tractor, your deluxe tractor that you want exactly the right horsepower and exactly the options for you, you can do that with the Grand L series. Some other nice features I'll go into real quick on these open station models are you do have telescoping stabilizers on the rear. So not only do you have turnbuckles on some of these, now this is a limited edition, so you can see it's a turnbuckle here, but you can put the telescoping, but you have telescoping lower link arms, which makes it really easy for hooking implements. So if you don't have a quick hitch or you don't like a quick hitch, this is your next best option. But you can see your cylinder arms are actually on the outside of the transmission rather than internal, so if something busts them, you don't have to rip into the transmission. There's a lot of very nice features to this tractor. Now I'm going to show you the last one. This is actually a L5460, so that's that 54 horsepower. Once you hit bigger than the 4060, you're going to get this LA 1055 loader. You're talking over 2,200 pounds of lift capacity now. Now you can easily pick up a round bale and other stuff. You can put a grapple so easily on this and pick up a lot of material. You get all those same grand features that I just talked about on either the 5460 or the 4760 or the 6060 in this tractor. And of course, I'm going to show you guys the cab. So it's still a very deluxe operator station, and realistically, it's pretty close to the same one. Ooh, it's warm in here. 98 degrees out today. I don't know why I chose today to do this video. So we've got a cab. That's why I chose. I can turn on the air condition. So I could turn on the air condition in here, although it'd be loud, and it would be very nice and cold in a cab, of course. You've got a ton of headroom, shoulder room, open view, like there's no extra pillars taking up my visibility around it. Windshield wipers, you've got rear work lights, front work lights, the whole 9 yards when it comes to a cab. Now your controls are the same as the open station. Realistically, you're just getting that air condition, heat, windshield wipers, radio, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for a cab model with a hydrostat transmission, this might be the way to go with that deluxe transmission, that high and low range right here, all the features that I love on this Grand L series. So that's kind of the lineup. I'm going to have to hop out of here because it's roasting. That is the lineup of the L series for Kubota. So if you're looking for something from a 25 to a 60 horsepower and you want something that's heavy duty, because there's some smaller LXs that are a little bit lighter duty, this L series lineup might be the one to look at. It is our most popular series tractors, and they are built well, and we really have no issues with them. So if you have any questions about specific ones or anything I didn't mention, just let me know.